things real estate in the Charlotte real estate market. My name is Ann Rudd with LPT Realty and owner of the Ann Rudd Group. And today is June 30th. This is the last day of the month. I don't know about you, but this year has flown by and it's just been an interesting real estate year. And I want to talk to you about numbers. It's Monday, so we're going to do Market Monday. And let's get into these numbers. But I hope you all are having a good summer so far. It's been an interesting summer in the real estate market. I think we're seeing interest rates starting to come down a little bit more. We do have some undulations in the market because there's just a lot of stuff swirling around. You all know that. You know what's going on across the world and here at home. So had a little bit of crazy last week with some closings, so which we will talk about slightly. But let's talk about the market first. What happened last week compared to the week before? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. You all know that I'm terrible at this, but let's get on it and see what we can take a look at here. Okay, so what we're looking at is the data from, and here I'll show you what it is so you can see it. This is from Monday to Monday, last Monday to this Monday, and we're going to look at actives, under contracts, closed, and expireds. And this is just the data from that. You can see that we have a $12 million house listed. Actually, there's two. I suspect that these are probably going to be new construction, but I might be wrong. No, they're completed. Maybe remodels. But take a look at this lot. That's really interesting. That is a peninsula lot, guys, and it's a rare thing. So, all right, let's talk about stats for a minute, and we'll go take a look at some of these houses in a little bit. Oh, nope, that's not the one that I want to take a look at. Let's go back and hit all of them, and then we're going to look at our stats. And have I completely lost my mind here, guys? Let's see. Let me go back. All right. This is not working very well today. Okay, here we go. These are all actives. Let me go back to, all right, we're going to try this again. I have no idea what's going on this morning. We're going to select all. Let me just make sure that we've got everything selected. Okay, let's select all. All right, here we are. We got them all. 1,616 homes are going to be in this chart. And so let's take a look. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can take a look at it. Look at that. I'm learning this. Okay. All right, here we go. Actives. We had 616 homes listed. Now, I got something to show you because I did pull the data from last week. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'll show it to you in a minute. All right. So take my word for it. We're up a little bit in listings. And I can tell you, I've got a couple of listings coming. I've got one coming this week. Even though I think traditionally we peak in June, it's still a good time to sell in July, but it's getting important to look at timing. Because traditionally for us, non-COVID years, August has been very slow. So you have to understand and take a look at what happens between May, June, July, and August and September. Because if you're hitting these listings or a house or putting a house on the market the beginning of July or the end of July, you need to know what happens the next couple of months after the month that you list. Okay, so 616 homes are listed. We've got 311 and 187 went under contract between the under contract shows and the under contract no shows. We closed 485 houses last week and 17 expired. Okay, now Here's where it gets fun. Average list price is $635. Average contract price is going to be $569 and $523. And then the average close price is $607. Look, guys, there's a difference here. And this is why I look at this data every week, because I'm looking at how much are homes being listed for and how much are they actually going under contract for and closing on. I am interested in this, and I take that back. This is the average list price of the closed properties, and this is the average close price. So, here we have an average list price right now of homes listed last week at $635,301. And that same week, the closed homes are averaging $598,192. We look at this data every week because I want to see what happens in week to week. And we're going to take a look at this data. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? I'm just going to no, I'm not doing that. Okay. So remember, we had last week 616 homes closed. This is the week before. So the week before we had 565, and they averaged the list price of $591. The average list price of the homes this week averaged $635. Now, I know that $12 million house moved the numbers up a little bit, but we have to pay attention to this. The average under contract show price was $574. This past week, $569. So that's dropped a little bit. The average under contract no shows, $558. This past week, $523. This is the week prior. Okay, so this is a week before last. We had 595 homes closed the week before last, 485 last week. 17 expired last week, 21 expired the week before. So these numbers are pretty similar. Okay, 565 to 616, 408 to 311, 226 to 187. So look, this number is higher than this last week. So is the market slowing a little bit? Are we have we peaked? I don't know. I don't know if we've peaked. I don't know if we've peaked in the seasonality of our market right now, but you have to pay attention to this if you are thinking about selling, or if your home is coming on the market. You're going to maximize the amount of money you're going to make on your home in April, May, June, typically. July is not a bad month to list your home, but we have to pay attention to that slower half of the year. Okay. So just paying attention to that and understanding what's going on, because everyone loves to look at homes. We are going to take a look at some of the homes that were listed this past week. And let me go back. Just going to go back. And we're going to take a look at page 1, because everybody likes to look at these. This is that $12 million house in Mooresville. There's another one on the same street that went on the market as well. And so we're going to take a look at this one. This house was built in 2002. And let's take a look at these photos real quick. And you can take a look at the yard and the view. I would like to see a drone photo of this property. This is a beautiful house. It looks very Cape Cod-ish, I think. I think the drone footage helps these houses. Here we go. All right. So now you can see it appears that this is the $12 million house that sold, or that went on the market. So I imagine this is the same, might be the same listing agent. I'm not sure, but I can find out really quick. No, they are not. So very, very interesting. I think these are great to look at. And obviously, this house has got some spectacular views. Question for you all about all of the black in this house. Okay, what are your thoughts about it? I recently put a house under contract that had been on the market and came off the market for a while and then came back on. And when it was listed prior, there was a lot of black furniture, black and white artwork, black curtains everywhere. What are your thoughts about that? I'm seeing it a lot, and that's why I'm asking, because I joked with my clients when I was looking at the last house, or the house that I put under contract. There was just so much black. Now that house had actually a black bathtub, and there were 3 black toilets in the house, and it was interesting. So just thought I'd ask. What are your thoughts about the black, all of the black furnishings and cabinetry in the house? I do think it's a individualized, individual taste, and just thought I'd ask. All right, here's a house that was built in 23 in Marshville on 3.27 acres. That was just listed for $899,500. This is really cute. I love this front porch. I love Marshville. This view makes me happy. There's a cornfield there. That's not for everyone, but if you want a little piece of land, this is great. A little bit of a pet peeve: turn your ceiling fans off when you're getting your house photographed, and get all the crap out of your sink. All right. This is a good house though, and it's already had a decrease from 925 to 899. So really interesting to take a look at this one. And then you all know we kind of look at things in all sorts of price points here. So let me go down to, we've looked at some houses in Mooresville. This is 670, and this is a house in 28215 zip code in Harrisburg, which is an extremely popular part of town to live in right now. I think Harrisburg, you're about as close to uptown Charlotte without being in the Charlotte city limits. This is a cute house. It's on 0.38 acres. It's 3,399 square feet. It's a pretty good size house for 670. And then let me take a look at a couple of more down here. And here's one in Mint Hill, Castleford Drive in Mint Hill. This house was built in 1990. It's 2,478 square feet. It's got a swimming pool. This house seems so familiar to me. This house is priced at $525. So a lot of good houses out there. A lot of homes on the market, and there's a lot to look at right now. So if you're thinking about buying, it's certainly an option for you to take your time and to really dig into what you want, and you have the time to do it. For the most part, we still have some homes that sell for multiple offers, but if you're not interested in being in a bidding war, this is a great opportunity and a good time to buy. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Now, I have one thing to talk to you about today, and this is a little bit of a tale about how important it is to understand the documentation that you're signing. Now, I can sit at your kitchen table and talk to you about that contract that you're signing, the listing agreement, the buyer agency, the purchase agreement, until I'm purple. It is your job, though, to understand that contract. Read it again. If you don't understand it, you have the right to call an attorney and say, hey, I don't understand this. And if you don't understand it, let me know. I can get you an attorney to talk to. I would rather my clients know exactly what's going on than to get to the end of a transaction and say, time out. I closed a house last week, my listing, and my sellers they did not understand commissions. My seller used to have a real estate license and they did not understand commissions. And we get to closing and they are upset about commissions. I sat at their kitchen table and went through these documents. We had plenty of conversations. And if you know me just from this show, I am very, very upfront and open about what things cost people. However, this was not an understanding that they had. They did not raise any questions to me, or I would have had someone explain this to them. We had plenty of time to go over it. And it wasn't until they went to sign documentation that this came up. So we got everything worked out. But I want you to know there's no harm in saying, I don't really understand this. It does not make you look bad. I don't think anything negative about you if you say, Ann, I don't really understand this. It doesn't hurt my feelings to say, can you get somebody else to explain it? I can have my broker explain it. I can have a real estate attorney explain it. But you have to speak up. And it's so important for you to know what you're signing. And if you don't know, it's time to seek more advice. I do go over contracts with people. I don't want anything like this to happen at closing. I want people to understand exactly what they're signing and why. But there's only so much that I can explain. And if there's still not an understanding, it's okay to raise your hand and say, I don't understand. So that is my little cautionary tale for the day. I hope that if you are in a purchase agreement or thinking about listing or thinking about buying, that you understand those documents. It's very easy for an agent to send you electronic signatures, but you don't have to sign that before you read it. And if you want a paper copy of it, I'm old school. I like to have paper in front of me. Ask for it. It's okay. You get to have that right. You have that right. And if you have an agent that's impatient with you, it's all right to just say, look, I don't understand this. I want to make sure what I'm signing so that we don't have any surprises later. And that's all this is about, is making sure that you're not surprised at the end of this transaction, or neither am I. I don't like surprises, and I don't think most people do. So ask. You're allowed to. It's not going to hurt our feelings if you ask for someone else to explain the documentation if you don't have an understanding of what you're signing. But please ask. I want you to know what you're signing. All right. Well, that's what I've got for you all today. I wish you a happy Monday. This will be a short week for many people. If you are traveling this week, be safe. I will be back to talk about some other real estate stuff this week, but happy 4th of July week, and I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.